I woke up this morning and I went to the bathroom and I commenced the morning throne. I took my seat on the morning throne and I started browsing YouTube instantly, moments after awaking my eye shields. And I was like, oh, I'm going to find some quality content while I sit on my quality throne. And a NASA video popped up on my home feed, my subscription, or not subscription feed, but recommended feed. And it was, we're going back to the moon. And the thumbnail said something about like a permanent moon base, sending people and back by 2025, which is like 6 years from now, which is pretty crazy because that's actually a lot sooner than you think, which is about the time frame we give ourselves, to go back to the moon. If you really think about it, by the end of this decade, we will return. We will put men on the moon, and so I think that's it's exciting to see like history lining up like that again, especially something so exciting like going to the moon and space travel. Something it's always been something that I've been. Oh, hello. My dog is curious about something. It's always been something that I've had an interest in. Science, in particular, has always been one of those classes that was hard to get me involved in, hard to get me interested in, hard to pique my interest. And it became very easy whenever we would talk about space or space travel or flight of like planes or anything like that. And so the first time we really talked about the Apollo space program or the space program in general was when I was in sixth grade. And at the end of the year, we had to do a project about anything that we talked about in the entire class. We had to expand on it. Ow, I just rolled over my big toe. Sorry about that. My dog distracted me and resulted in me rolling over my big toe. But as I was saying, this was the first time that I had been really engaged in a science class. And so I made my project about the Apollo moon missions. I covered all of the ones. I covered them all, and I just gave like a synopsis of what happened. And I bought this like model, which is essentially just a toy for me, I guess, looking back on it. And it was I explained the mission, and I explained how the rockets worked and when like the stages would activate. And I had a grand old time with that, and I was also interesting to see like that was a time my teacher had thought like, oh, this is a kid that never liked this class, never paid attention, didn't like me, and it was like, oh, this kid took an interest, and he learned something, he enjoyed his time, you can see. And so I think it was also like a turning point with me and like teachers as well, I guess a little bit. So I have I think, and that's kind of like the connection that people are trying to make when they talk about funding science and funding the space program, and why it's good for the younger generation. I think that's the precise reason why it sparked an interest in education for me. And so saw that we were going back to the moon, and the video was real short. And so I watched the video. It's a couple-minute video, and I was there. The concept is if we want to continue to go explore, we have to have a base out there already, and especially with the combined efforts of the private programs that are in existence already, getting things into space it becomes a cooperative. It's a symbiotic relationship. And so it was interesting to hear the plans for us to go back to the moon to set up a permanent kind of space. And there's resources on the moon. They've been studying the moon for the last 10 years, I think, since 2009. And they found water and different fuels and resources on the moon. So I guess we're going to, start mining the moon. Basically, that's really what we're doing. We're mining the moon, and we're going to use that to get us on another planet. I guess that's kind of cool with me. Let's be honest, we're going to ruin this one. I think we might have already done it. But so it's an interest to me because it seems crazy to me, and it just seems the exploration alone, the adventure in it alone is reason enough for me to be a big fan of it. But that's something I saw and wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. I hope you guys saw the video. If you haven't seen the video, I will link it in the description below. It's from NASA. It's on the NASA YouTube page. And do you guys have strong connections with space or whatnot, like anything like this? Let me know in the comment section below.